Hey everyone, and welcome to my second Inktober video. So this is going to be a compilation of 5 of my Inktober drawings. The days themselves are a little bit all over the place because, as I said in my previous video, I'm a little bit behind, well quite a bit behind now, but it just means that I kind of pick the words that I'm most inspired by and corresponds to not to days that aren't the day it is. So it's all a bit all over the place. So for example, this particular drawing is for day 3, but I did it on like day 5 or something. It's a little bit all over the place, but that's okay. So this one that you see me drawing here was for day 3, as I said, and the prompt was bait. And I had an idea for this one almost immediately. I really wanted to draw this particular image, and I'm fairly happy with how it came out. I kept it quite minimalist. You may have noticed that this year I am not doing as much cross-hatching as I might have done on my 2017 drawings, for example. And part of the reason for that is partly because my wrists would not be able to take the strain of doing a lot of cross-hatching. Part of the reason I have wrist problems right now is because I did so much cross-hatching in 2017 and didn't take care of myself at the time. So I'm steering away from having that kind of element in my work. I do have a few drawings in my series that do have quite a bit of detail, but I'm trying not to do it as often and in all the drawings. Also, I've noticed that if there are elements in the drawing that have a lot of detail next to the character stands out more if it doesn't have detail itself. So I'm trying to find a good balance between having a good amount of detail and having less of it. It's tempting to want to cross-hatch my characters because I find them, it worries me that they are kind of smooth and bland and very kind of flat in a way, but at the same time I do like the look and I think it's more effective visually. So that's one of the things I'm learning with this year's Inktober series. At some point in the future Inktober series, I think I'll probably try and explore grayscale more and use ink washes to create different values and textures, and not only stick with line art and cross-hatching in black and white. I do prefer sticking to line art right now. It's just something that I'm really enjoying at the moment, and I think I just want to explore that for now, but I'll probably branch out in the future. But when using only line art and black and white, I have found that it really teaches me how to prioritize certain elements in my work without resorting to color and value. So instead of relying on different colors and different value schemes to make a particular element in my drawing stand out, I have to rely more on texture in those particular drawings in that particular style. And so instead of giving in to my natural desire to just add more and more detail, because that's definitely something that I've been doing more and more, I just like tiny detail and a lot of detail. You may have noticed that in some of my drawings, in some of my paintings, and in my 2017 Inktober's, I definitely do tend to want to go towards tiny detail and a lot of it. And instead of giving into that urge, I have to analyze the concept I want to draw, and I have to analyze exactly what the main focal point of that drawing will be and what will be added detail on top of that. I have this weird tendency of thinking that if something doesn't have a lot of detail, then it probably doesn't come across as very well drawn, which is stupid. I know that it's a silly thing to think. I don't know why detail makes me feel like my drawing has more substance. It's not necessarily true. I don't look at other people's work and think that. I just look at my work and think that, and I need to get out of that habit. So that is definitely something that I'm trying to get out of the cycle of thinking with this particular Inktober series. So you just saw me finish day 8, for which the word was frail, and I am now drawing day 10, for which the prompt was pattern. I titled this particular piece you see right here Flutter. Thanks to one of my Instagram followers, I was stumped as to how to title the piece, and they offered up Flutter, and I think that was a really great idea. So thank you so much for that title. This idea of someone turning into birds is definitely not something I personally came up with. I'm sure you've seen it in a lot of different places. I certainly have, from lots of different artists and graphic designers and all over the internet. It's definitely a very visually appealing concept, and I think there's a reason why so many of us are drawn to this kind of idea. And I wanted to explore it in an Inktober drawing because I love drawing birds. I think a lot of us do. They just have something so fluid about them and so symbolic. And I just wanted to do my take on the concept because I needed something that I was excited to draw for that day, and that was one of the ideas that I thought I'd really enjoy, and I did. I did freehand a lot of the birds. I did have reference, but instead of sketching them out with a pencil, I went straight in with a pen, which does mean that some of them are probably a little bit wonky, but I actually quite like how the idea turned out, and I'm quite happy with the piece, and I think it works well in black and white, and I hope that you will too. The next piece you'll see me draw was for day 11 for the prompt Snow. I was quite stumped to find an idea for this one. It was fairly similar to Freeze, so I had similar ideas to the drawing I did for that day, which you can see in my previous Inktober video. I didn't have anything that I really loved, and then I started chatting with my boyfriend and he came up with this particular idea. Apart from like all the detail, like the snowdrops and that kind of thing, he did come up with the idea of someone in a snow globe, and I thought that was really nice, so I decided to draw it. So all the props for this idea go to my boyfriend. This year I've definitely made more of an effort to sit down and brainstorm the ideas I have with my boyfriend. It's something that I've always found very difficult to do, talking about my ideas with people before I actually create them and put them on paper. I think part of that came from me being quite self-conscious about my ideas and my art in general, and just feeling like because my stuff is a bit on the weirder side, discussing it with people might make them dislike the idea before I can actually prove to them that it works on paper. And also because I'm self-conscious. I am confident in a lot of ways and I'm not confident in a lot of other ways, and I felt like I would feel really down with myself if someone shot down an idea I had that I really liked. So it's taken me a lot of trying to work on getting out of my shell for me to be able to share ideas with other people, and actually doing so, particularly with my boyfriend, because obviously he's with me most days and he sees my struggle and he sees what I go through when I try to come up with ideas and stuff. So sharing ideas with him actually de-dramatized the process of coming up with ideas, and also really energized my inspiration. Being able to brainstorm ideas with him was very, very useful because he obviously has a very different take on things than I do. He's a completely different person. He has a very different set of taste, and so being able to talk about ideas with him has been incredibly useful. His imagination works differently to mine, and so it has really enriched my practice, and I've come up with concepts that I probably wouldn't have been able to come up with on my own just from being able to talk with him about it. And I must say, my boyfriend is a very different person to me. My kind of art is definitely not the type of art that he's naturally driven towards. He's not even that much of an arty person. He's not very much into art in general, but even more so the kind of art I produce, where that has more of a darker undertone. And so the fact that he's excited to kind of help me come up with ideas that fit the kind of work I do is really nice, and shows that, you know, someone doesn't need to be necessarily into your kind of work to be able to appreciate the work that goes into it and be able to appreciate who you are as a person. So I just thought I'd put that out there. But anyway, let's talk a little bit about this last drawing you're seeing on screen. This one was for day 14. The prompt was Overgrown, and I kept the prompt as the title. As you can see, this is one of my more detailed drawings. I actually didn't do this one in one long sitting. I did half of it one day on the Monday, and then I finished it on the Tuesday morning because it was getting late and my wrist was starting to hurt. So I just took a break. I did take plenty of breaks while I was drawing it too, just stretching my wrist and making sure that I was keeping everything loose and not tightening all my joints. It definitely is the kind of drawing that I really like doing, and I need to do a few in this series because I just really enjoy creating natural detail like that for tree bark and that kind of thing, and I would feel sad if I wasn't able to do it. But I do need to try not to do it too often because I don't think it's doing me any favors. I am using felt tip pens, which are a lot softer than fine liners, so they're not as much of a strain on my wrist. And as I said, I take breaks, so don't worry, I'm doing plenty to try and take good care of myself. The next drawing is also quite detailed because I just had this specific idea and I really wanted it to work, and so the next drawing is going to be detailed. I'm going to try and keep it looser for future ones though. The next video that you'll see with the next few drawings from that Inktober series is probably going to be a vlog. I feel like switching up the format a little bit. I love doing time lapses, but I find that they can lack a little bit of personality sometimes. And also I find voiceovers really difficult to do. I don't know why, but I find talking for 10 minutes straight quite draining and quite stressful a lot of the time, so I need to switch things up for myself, and I figured that you guys might enjoy seeing a little bit of a different side to my Inktober and a little bit of more how I structure my days and stuff. So look out for a vlog for next time. In the meantime, I hope that you guys are all really well. I hope that you enjoyed this video. I hope that you enjoyed the drawings. I'll have prints and originals up very soon, although 2 of the original in this particular video have already been reserved. But yeah, keep an eye out for those. I hope that you're all really well, and I'll see you very soon. Bye everyone.